an outdoor video camera, plus a garage door controller, all for $99.
Oh, come on, honey, it's so late.
Whoa, what are you doing up?
How's it going?
Piece of cake.
Love you.
So call right now to get smart security equipment, plus an outdoor video camera, plus a garage door controller, all for $99.
All right. Thanks, honey.
Real life needs digital life.
Oh,
Call
thanks,
now.
honey, for the AI. Thanks for running my life. Maybe she has an app to wipe his butt. See, the message is you don't need men. Well, they don't need humans, folks. It's the rise of the machines. Warning, warning, warning. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Plan. And so I'm going to say this to ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, everybody else that attacks me. Do you understand I am not of your world? You understand that? I'm not in your paradigm. I'm outside of it. I'm in the world, not of it. And by that, I don't mean I'm Mr. Goody Two-Shoes and I'm not of the flesh, because that's what brought me here and that's what I am. I'm speaking of the fact that I know how real this is. I know that you're sad victims of peer pressure and sad victims of social climbing and didn't have the opportunities I had, didn't come from the people that I came from. So I pity you. The point you need to understand is that you are losing and you are being destroyed by your masters. You are a joke, and that's sad. I wish you'd have the epiphany, like Saul of Tarsus on the road to Damascus. And I pray God lift the scales from your eyes. I know why you're afraid. Just like V says, I wouldn't blame you. But when you get to the end of the road, and you realize that it's an attack on goodness and wholesomeness and the genetic code of humanity and the planet itself, and that it is an alien takeover. Alien doesn't have to come from the distant stars or from some interdimensional vortex. Scientists and corporations, mad scientists, are creating new life forms, new abominations that in almost every case fundamentally attack and scar and do not coexist in any form of harmony with this jewel of a globe. And then we are tortured with endless fake environmentalism to distract us and fill the vacuum of legitimate concern for the earth, that we can feel the damage that's happening, we can see it, it's affecting us. Just as we're sick, the earth is sick. And then we have to sit there and watch the counterfeits, who are the authors and the progenitors and the drivers of this coach that's being pulled by 1,000 hellhounds. Unbelievable. I mean, if you just understand all this is going on and is planned, if you just realize that it's all coming to a head and that we could reverse a lot of this and have this crash landing be a lot less horrible and have a face-to-face debate with the globalists. I'll never forget Gary Hart being in front of We Are Change. It's in the film on DVD I put out, Truth Rising. Gary Hart, who wrote an open letter in Huffington Post about how our government stages terror attacks and Iran better do what we say or we'll stage a terror attack and attack them. And they brought it up to him, gave him the letter, and he kept saying, no, I didn't write that. No, I didn't say that. No, you're a conspiracy theorist. And as soon as he did, he started sweating. He goes, okay, but that really wasn't for you. Gotta go. Because it's the game of, there is no NSA. There is no, we're not coming for your guns. And then we, like children, play along. He's talking to you like he's a magician and you've been hypnotized. Hey, I'm not hypnotized, jackass. Got that? I'm alive. I'm not sleeping. I could care less about being at Fox Studios and sitting around with a bunch of mummies. You people on your so-called high horse, you're a joke. I spent pretty much the entire hour getting into dehumanization, the attack on humanity and life. And we're going to do that this hour as well, but from another angle. We're going to be talking to the head of the organization that is exposing black genocide, blackgenocide.org, Pastor Childress, Leonard Childress. Then New American Magazine writer and author Alex Newman's going to be joining us on the war on children inside the schools and his new book that's already becoming a bestseller, Crimes of the Educators. We're going to chronicle it. You see, we're pro-human here. We're pro-true advancement and truly want to progress freedom, not regress it, as the counterfeiters would tell you. The globalists are the opposite, the inverse of everything they say they are. They're not about life, they're about death. They are eugenicists. I told you forever, and because I had top experts on, whistleblowers from the Federal Reserve, you name it, here on this broadcast. We also had the head of the World Bank come on, two-time head economist, two-time Nobel Prize winner for economics. The documents got leaked. About Joe Stiglitz. That world interest rates have been fixed since the 60s at least by private megabanks. There were 6, there's now 5. And of course, Rolling Stone came out with Matt Taibbi a few years ago and had the headline, "Everything is rigged." And it went over that. The stock market, interest rates, QE, money printing, all of it. It's come out in Associated Press, Business Week, Bloomberg, that just 2 of these banks laundered $378 billion in 2 years alone. $378 billion. You know why they keep drugs illegal? Because they're shipping them in, boys and girls. Doesn't mean I like the drug culture. Doesn't mean I'm for drugs. But you decriminalize it, it takes all the money and all the glitz out of it. And what am I getting at? Reuters, major banks admit guilt in Forex probe, fined $6 billion. Folks, they make $6 billion a day. In fact, global currency markets, I've seen some days where they've made $20, $30 billion. Manipulating it because they know what it's going to be. And so it's like a stock market. And so it's totally fixed. By who? By Citigroup. Oh, it's part of the Big Five. JP Morgan. Oh, Barclays, the Royal Bank of Scotland. And they describe themselves as a cartel. Invitation only, chat room, and coded language manipulated the price of U.S. dollars. Oh, just like spies. And by the way, I just listed those banks. Those are the very groups funding the open borders, the gun control, the abortion, the anti-male messages in Hollywood. You wonder why every movie has men, complete idiots, who can't tie their shoelaces. I just played the AT&T ad where the dad's a complete moron and his wife watches his every move off cameras in the house. And it's so cute. All of this is how the Romans managed slaves 2,000 years ago with just a high-tech casing, a high-tech icing. Okay, that's just one article out of 130 or so. I mean, it's just all off the charts. And, of course, we already knew that. It's now come out that they fixed the gold and silver market using paper naked shorts to keep the price down. And what the insiders told me a decade ago is true. From the U.S. vaults to other major vaults, they've got tungsten coated with gold. It weighs the same amount, roughly, and it's fake gold. They're using fake gold that they then sell to each other and never even leaves the vault. Back and forth is right on the price. Tungsten. And they can buy up everything and sign us on to 2.2 globally, 2.2 quadrillion. That's 2,200 trillion. That's not our debt. They've signed the U.S. on to half of that. It was 1.5 billion in 2008 when they pulled their last scam. Oh, and we shouldn't be concerned about military drills all over and saying the Tea Party's their enemy and Christians are the enemy. And Fort Hood general, commanding general, telling the troops you'll be court-martialed if you are evangelical Christian or part of the Tea Party. Ending free association in America. Oh, no, we shouldn't be concerned. There's nothing going on. The president just unilaterally has opened the borders and is paying to bring people in. And the Border Patrol, quote, completes the smuggling process. So with all of that backdrop, Look at this. New York City, there's no inflation. Fights break out over $30 hot dogs at Ground Zero. It's now a sickening tourist attraction. And again, Call of Duty, major study. Video games cause brain damage. Yeah, I don't need a study to know that. These people that are video game heads just aren't there. They're just into themselves. They go get their little thing and they go back. And then you always hear about like some 35-year-old guy that didn't even smoke having an aneurysm because they played, 10 hours of video games a day. They're dead already. Now, Jakari Jackson tomorrow is going to be leading. We're going to our guest. Is going to be leading, our reporter, with other folks, a demonstration in South Austin off of Ben White, or 290 as it's known. We're going to put the address on screen for TV viewers. It's 201 East Ben White, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Come on anytime during your lunch hour. It'd be best to be there if you can only make it for an hour at noon. Leave a little early. Tell your boss, I want to go to a pro-life free speech rally. Planned Parenthood has been caught trying to pass legislation in different states to restrict free speech. They target on record black people. 50+% of blacks were never born in this country. It's as high as 70% in some major cities. Blacks are 13% of the population. And so this is our Black Lives Matter protest to take over the George Soros meme that's about getting racial division going and infighting, to ignore the fact that we have double-digit unemployment in the black community. We're going to be out there, and I'm going to be covering it live tomorrow, checking in with Jakari. Please join him tomorrow. I want to see 100 people out there. We're only spending a few days, promoting this because we had the idea. We're doing it. Take photos, share it on Twitter, share our YouTube videos. This won't save the world, but I guarantee it's going to save some lives. I guarantee you some women are going to see us out there and are going to know that they can. In fact, we should print off some of the charities that are out there that actually take care of women when they're pregnant, even pay them to have the baby. In fact, I just thought of that. We should print off some of those foundations. I'm not associated with them. They got Catholic and other Christian groups, and we should hand those out and probably maybe save some lives tomorrow. Or at least let the women know, hey, they're not going to tell you inside. People pay to take care of that baby. You can adopt it. There are more people wanting to adopt babies every year than are aborted in this country. And I always hear this cliche, nobody wants black babies. That's a load of bull. So then they got liberal groups arguing to make sure that white Christian families can't adopt black babies. Yeah, it's better to cut them up, sell their body parts for Pepsi flavoring. Pretty sick. Pastor Clenard Childress is with us the rest of the hour. We're going to break here in a few minutes, sir. I appreciate you coming on, blackgenocide.org. But what are you going to be breaking down here today, sir?
Well, I'm just excited about your ingenuity and the strategy that you're using. I think it's a God-given thing. Certainly it's not a pro-life marketing scheme, but this is certainly connecting the dots in the African-American community. The few times we've gone out with this, the project itself, it has opened up the eyes of so many students. And so Black Life Matters is a gift from God, and I applaud what you're doing there in Austin.
Well, we didn't even know that it was our separate idea that came from one of the writers, Mikhail Thalen. We learned other folks around the country, mainly black pastors. I mean, you may know who they are. It might be you. I was just being told about it a few hours ago. are actually out there already taking over the Black Lives Matter meme.
Yes, absolutely. We've been at Fayetteville State College. First, it's staggering to the students, but we had some strategic signs.
Hold on. I'm going to stop and give you the floor when we come back. We got to go to break. This is too incredible. We just had a demonstration. I said, get Reverend Childress on, see what he thinks of it. And then I heard him mentioning, there's other groups doing it, and it's you. See, that's how God works. We didn't even know this. We didn't even.
Really?
No. I was getting you on, just to talk about pro-life and to promote what's happening tomorrow. I didn't even know you'd already been doing this.
Just started since February.
See, I'm telling you, this is incredible. This could spread nationwide, folks. We could save millions of lives. White, black, you name it. They're all precious. Sometimes we'll have 4 or 5 guests on about GMO, or 3 or 4 guests on about the Second Amendment, or 3 or 4 guests on about border situation, or 3 or 4 guests on pro-life, or exposing what's happening in that fight. When I said get Pastor Clenard Childress on, who we've interviewed for films, had on the Nightly News, probably been on this radio show 10 times or more, I just wanted to talk about abortion, where the fight is, get